Welcome to the Franklin County Fair, or as I call it, the Malone Fair for 1998. Doesn't seem possible that we were here 1 year ago. Time flies when you get old, Howard.
It flies faster than the devil, you know.
But here we are once again, and I love it. We're at the gate, the back gate, sitting in this little golf cart that Howard rides around in so he can keep his thumb on everything that's going on. We're here on the, what is this, Calvin? The 11th day of August, 1998. And your fair has been underway for a few days, and you're pretty happy so far, Howard.
So far, the crowds have been great. We're down some yesterday because we had a lot of rain, but we still had about 3/4 of a grandstand for the Demolition Derby, so we're very happy with it.
I want to know what the Demolition Derby's like in the mud. You must have had about 6 inches of mud out there in that infield.
About 6-7 inches of mud and 94 cars.
Well, good time. It's always a big draw here and everywhere else.
Big draw, and doing it in the mud, you know, they can't pick up that much speed because they're slipping and sliding. It takes a while longer to finish off the last few cars. It's not like a dry track where they can, you know, speed up to hit a car to disable it.
You know, when I was thinking about that, I thought, oh man, what a mess that infield's got to be for today. But you told me, thanks to some new techniques and new materials, that this thing dries out pretty good these days.
Yeah, we used to have a clay track here at one time, but now we use this ore dust and stone dust, and it dries very quickly. The crew this morning peeled it back, brought in some more ore dust and mixed it in with the other ore dust and put it back on and dragged it a few times and it dried right out, and now we got the tractor and truck pull going on the dry track.
I hadn't been in here for 30 seconds and I heard the loudest roar of an engine. Calvin said, "That's a tractor pull." I said, "What kind of a tractor sounds like that?" I guess that wasn't probably a stock engine in that tractor.
Probably now they're running some out of the field, some super stocks, and also some modifieds this afternoon, and some four-wheel drive pickup. And later on today, they're going to do the tractor trailer pull. Then they got a special tractor coming in from Peru, Clinton County. Supposed to be 12 cylinders, 6,000 horsepower, and they're going to put on a demonstration with that sometime today.
And when they get through demonstrating it, they'll put wings on it and fly it to Montreal. Holy mackerel, 6,000 horsepower. That draws the people in, huh?
Yes, it'll be deafening when they run that down in front of the grandstand.
Yeah. So it's been great so far, huh? As it is every year.
Yeah, very, very good so far. But I want to correct you one thing. This is the Franklin County Fair. We're trying to get away from the title, the Malone Fair.
I know that, but you know what? Talk about teaching old dogs new tricks. I will call it the Franklin County Fair, but every now and again, if I slip, you can't hit me with anything heavy.
Oh, you're going back to your roots. You're originally from Franklin County, aren't you?
You know, I told you before we began the camera what a delicious experience it was for me to return to the Franklin County Fair after 42 years last year. And Calvin and I walked in the gate after we talked to you, and I shook hands. Guy says, "Hi, Gordy, haven't seen you in a while. How long has it been?" I said, 42 years. I hadn't seen him since we were 18 years old and seniors in high school.
But
so
now you're telling your age, aren't you?
I don't even care. I feel good today, and you feel good, and this is great. How long? By the way, congratulations on becoming supervisor.
Well, thank you very much. It was a kind of surprise to me, too.
No, that wasn't a surprise to anybody, and you know it.
Well, no way to foresee what's going to happen at that time.
Oh, that's great. But congratulations anyway. I knew you won the election. How long have you been connected with the fair down here in Franklin County, Howard?
I've been a director for 29 years, and before I became a director, I used to work at the gates and in charge of the gates for a few years. Then they talked me into becoming the director. So I've been a director for 29 years.
Well, if you were to suddenly lose your sight and hearing, you could still find your way around here with no problem at all, right?
I think so.
This golf cart would probably know where to go anyway.
I probably would.
You know, there are a lot of special things about fairs, and Franklin County Fair has got, I don't know if it's magic or what it is. If you ever tried to figure out what makes this Franklin County Fair so special, you can name a few things, I'm sure.
Oh, one of the things is our location right in the village of Malone, on US Route 11, right downtown Malone. It's a tradition. People in Malone just wait for the fair and everything else stops. They come down here.
Isn't that a great position to be in?
Yes, you're right. I don't know if we have the same success if we were 5 or 6 miles out of town on the back road. I don't think we have the same success we have our location being in the village.
Calvin and I discussed that driving down here from Brainardsville down the back way, and I said, why is it that that fair has done this for so many years? He said, people think about it every day of their lives when they drive by the fairgrounds. You can't help it. But it also, I don't mean to imply, Howard, that it all takes care of itself, because I know how much sweat you put into this thing every year. It takes a lot of hard work.
Yes, but we've got a very, very good board of directors. There's 11 of us, and everybody pulls their own weight and does their own job, and it all comes together.
We just met a gentleman in another golf cart a few minutes ago that you said was the president of the fair.
Yes, that's Wallace Hill. He's from Malone. He's originally from Chattagay, and he's been involved with the fair probably about 22, 23 years.
He does a lot of things here besides just direct traffic. He's in charge of the horses, you said?
Yes, he's a horse superintendent for the horse show, and he's the overseer of our grounds during the off season, takes care of our rentals, and makes sure things go right on the grounds year round.
You know, basically, as I recall, the general setup of the Franklin County Fair doesn't change too much from year to year. You get a little facelift every now and again, but basically it feels just like I'm home when I walk through the gates.
Well, the carnival's in the same place it was 40 years ago, and back then most of our permanent eating stands were tent set up, and now we have permanent stands. And about the same, the cattle barn's in the same place, the horse barns, and nothing else has changed beside that. It's part of the tradition.
I remember last year when you took us over to the grandstand and you said, see out there, let me show you some plans from the office, and now that's happened. Tell us all about that.
Yes, it's last year's exposition. We started right after the fair. We took our dressing room area, took the roof off that, and stripped the whole building. It had 4 walls standing. And we had a pad for the original stage. We had that removed. Then we started building a new concert stage. And we finished putting our curtains up this past Friday. So we worked on it right from last fall. Then we took about a 2-month break during the winter. Then it continued back to spring to finish it up in time for fair.
The ice storm didn't bother you there? Or?
Nope, they were closed down then during the ice storm. And the only damage we had from the ice storm in the grounds was some lines pulled down. That was it.
That's great. Everybody's been raving about that. Look at that smoke behind you. That's got to be one of those tractors we're talking about, right?
Right. That's one of them. I think that's one of the super stocks.
Oh, man. That's got to be unbelievable when those go. So you're very happy with the end result out there, that new stage, right, Howard?
Very, very happy. You know, the way it's situated, our other stage was on ground level. This one's up 5.5 feet in the air. And the other stage was 40 by 35. And this stage is 81 by 41 feet. So it's a lot bigger, a lot higher. You got the permanent cover, and we had the curtains for the back and the sides in case of inclement weather.
I'll bet you the people in the grandstands love it, and I wouldn't be surprised if the performers love it a lot better too.
Yes, and setting up the air that distance, your ends of your grandstand had a problem with sights before seen into the stage because it's so low, but now your sight distance from both ends of the grandstands is excellent. And the performers, they require in their riders in their contract that the stage be so high, or you had to have fences between them and the audience, and this takes care of all that. We don't. Last year we had to have those big barn fences between the Billy Ray Cyrus and the spectators because that's part of its contract. And that does away with that.
Oh, that's neat, huh?
Very neat. It'll fulfill most any rider of any performer on the market.
That's great. So now tell me did you do any other facelifting here this year besides that?
That was our major project. We did some painting and cleaning up, but that's a lot of paint down. We placed a lot more stone dust on the track during the season. And just
new roofs on some of the buildings, I know, within the last couple of years. We were talking about that last year, right?
Yeah, the cattle barn was completely done. All new vinyl siding and all new green roof.
What kind of overall attendance do you expect in a given year? Like, what are you counting on this year, Howard?
Oh, about the same as last year, between 70 and 75,000.
Is that a fact?
That's it.
70 and 75,000. What's the population of Franklin County?
I don't know the population of Franklin County, but the village of Malone about 7,500, and probably between 8 and 8,500 in the town.
I'd like to know who's milking the cows. That's what I want to know. Holy mackerel. I guess people plan on it for a long, long time, as you said before. Many families just know that this is the highlight of the year, the Franklin County Fair. They take their vacations during this time period. The kids save their money just like I did when I was 15, 16 years old, and they just enjoy the fair. There's something about it that's special.
Well, during the off season, I get not just a few, lots of calls from former residents from Malone area that want to plan their vacation. They're from Texas, California, Nevada, or anything else. Want to know the dates of the fair and what do you expect is going to have there, because they want to take their vacation and go back to Malone.
That makes you feel good.
Very well, very good.
Yeah, you know, we're suffering under the deflated Canadian dollar, and we don't get our neighbors, so many neighbors from the north, but it's nice when all of our American friends and neighbors talk up the Franklin County Fair and come back year after year.
Yes, and a lot of them renew old acquaintances, and like you've seen somebody here last year if you haven't seen them in 40 years.
That's the best part of it.
You're right.
Not to mention all the smells of the food, which get me when I'm driving up with the window open. You got me hooked just pulling in the parking lot. Last year, Calvin reminded me, as if I needed to be reminded, when we spoke to you in your office, and you and I met, I mentioned the guy's name, Lucky Teeter, and you said, "Come here." And you opened the closet door, and what was that you dragged out?
I dragged out a poster that says, which I hate to say, it says Malone Fair Lucky Teeter Day, August 26th.
Oh, isn't that amazing? That sealed it for me. I knew you and I were going to be friends for a long time to come. Well, this may not get on the television sets around Clinton, Essex, and Franklin County while the fair is still on, but I want people to know what some of the events that you've already had so far and some things you're planning for the fair this year, to give an idea how hard you work to get this all together.
Well, you know what, the events we've had so far this year? Okay, we started out Saturday with our 4-H judges. They did most of their still projects and stuff in the 4-H building. They did all their judging there, and the cattle come in. We have a split cattle show. We got the colored breeds in here now. We had them for 4 days, and the cattle show is going on today. Tomorrow night they'll be released after 8 o'clock, all your colored breeds. We have to strip the barns in down, clean the barns, disinfect them, and the black and whites will be in for 4 days starting Thursday morning.
That's the way you do it. Okay, I didn't know that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a split cattle show. We got the 4-H judging done on Saturday, and we had a big demolition derby Saturday night. That was our opening day. Yesterday we had a big horse show. Excuse me, Sunday. Here I'm skipping it. I lose the track of my time already. Sunday we had a horse show. Then we had 2 big concerts by Sammy Kershaw, big country star.
Nice crowds for that.
We had big crowds for that. Very, very happy. We drove more people for Sammy Kershaw than we did for Billy Ray Cyrus.
Now figure that out. They were primed. They must have been ready.
They were ready for a good quality show, and he gave it to them. Then yesterday we had some more horse shows and other small events going on in the grounds, and we had our second demolition derby last night in the rain and the mud.
I don't know how many fairs do 2 demolition derbies. Do they all do them now, or most of them do only 1, don't they?
I think most of them do 1, but ours, we used to come, have a demolition derby night, sign up that night, and just as you come, we sign them up and put them in the heat. Well, that year I had 237 cars show up for a one-night demolition derby. We were here at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get them done. Nobody left the grandstand because everybody left by then.
Isn't that amazing? So you split them up?
Split them up, went to pre-registration, and cut them off at a certain number. That's it. We allow 95 cars a night.
You know, some people who've never watched the demolition derby at the Franklin County Fair would not know what the attraction is. But once you've seen one, you know that is fun, especially when almost everybody there's got a brother or a cousin who's got some old jalopy out there ready to crash it and bash it.
Everybody has their own personal cheering section out there. Their families, their friends, and well, sometimes a big family fair. I know one family last night had 13 different entries.
Oh, isn't that?
Another family had 12 or 13 from Bangor. So it's a family fair out there too.
They plan it all year long, and anything can happen. So the favorite sometimes doesn't win.
I got to tell you a story about our winner last night. He's a young fellow from Raybrook. Nice kid. He won a few heats Saturday night. He had a car already for tomorrow night or for last night, and he had car trouble. And he called me. He says, "Mr. Manili, I don't think I can make it." He said, "I can't get this gas tank out, but the required tank in." Well, I said, "Keep working on it." He said, "No, I don't think I can get it done. So why don't you scratch me off?" I said, "All right." So I scratched him off, filled this position for a guy on the waiting list, and but I told him if anything happens, come on in. Well, come 5 minutes to 6, he come looking for me. He says, Mr. Manili, I got my car going. Well, I said, another cancellation. I'm going to put you back in. So he came in and he had a 4-cylinder. We have a special heat just for the 4 cylinders. We got 20 cars out there. And the kid won it.
Isn't that beautiful?
The 4 cylinders. Really happy.
Beautiful.
So he gets in the feature. And with the 4-cylinder against those big station wagons and the Lincolns and all that, he wins the feature for the championship. I mean, here's a kid that didn't think at 6 o'clock he's going to run. He walks away with both prizes.
Isn't that delicious?
And with a 4-cylinder car.
Yeah. What a great story. That's what I mean. Sometimes the favorite doesn't win. That's the fun of it. So here we are on a Tuesday afternoon, about 5 minutes after 3. You can hear some of those wonderful sounds back there of the tractors. What else is going on today?
We got the big color breed cattle show going on. And we got a lot of judging going on over in Vegetable Hall. I'm waiting for them to get done because they're judging the cakes and the pies and the fudge. And I always get a chance to taste the winning fudge and stuff. She keeps telling me that she'll be done another half hour, and all that. But I'm
wait till you go home to supper, and then she's going to bring it over for Calvin and me.
That might be just what she's doing. But
all right, what else?
I used to get fudge twice a year. I used to get it Fair Week, and I used to get it at Christmas time. Well, my wife doesn't make any more for me at Christmas time, so I only get it Fair Week. So I really don't need it.
And nor do I. If we could compare these two bellies here, taking a long time to culture these. A lot of fairs in the past.
You're right.
All right. So what else this week now?
Well, we got a lot more going on this week. Tomorrow's our first day of harness racing. We have 3 days of harness racing, the trotters and pacers. On Wednesday and Thursday, we start at 1:30 in the afternoon, and Friday we start at 1 o'clock. And we got a full field of horses coming in for the New York Sire Stakes and the Vermont Colt Stakes. And we have our own Franklin County free-for-all trots, too.
Oh, you do?
On Friday.
Oh, yeah. You know, I've mentioned this before, and we'll no doubt mention it again before we're through with a little tour that Calvin and I hope to do with the Franklin County Fair today. Harness racing is wonderful because it stays in families. And I can name about 5 different North Country families that have been in harness racing for 40 or 50 years and some more.
You're right. We got some here, too. We got the Pages, we got the Smiths, and the Gales from Aware. They've been in it. Donald Dumont, our race secretary, he used to be in it for years. And we got some visiting ones. Jack Connell from over there. Jack told me
my son married his daughter. I better mention his name.
Oh yeah. Jack told me he didn't have any horses running this year. It was over to Plattsburgh, but I don't know what happened there.
No, I don't either. I haven't talked to him in a long time. But boy, talk about names in the business. You've just named the rogues gallery of the of the harness racers. And there are many more.
And there's many more. I hate to leave anybody up. There's many more, but.
Well, I know how hard you work to plan for this fair every year, but I don't know how you could survive without it. I would say it's a part of your bloodstream now after all these years, Howard.
Yes, I got the sawdust in my blood, I guess.
It's a lot of fun to meet many of these people you see only once a year, and many of the people you see on a regular basis. I've got to congratulate you because I don't know how many people take the time to say a job well done, Howard, but I know it requires a tremendous amount of effort. Nobody's working out here is making big money at this, and a lot of people are not making a penny.
You're right. It comes down to maybe 5 to 10 cents an hour. You figure out the time year round.
But that would be ambitious.
Yeah, but I say I'm very, very fortunate with the board of directors we have here, 11 guys, and we've got Wally's the president, Chester Lawrence, he's their vice president. He's working down announcing the tractor pull today. He helps with the horse show. He helps with the demolition derby. Billy McCabe's our treasurer. He takes care of the beer stand for us. And I'm the secretary. My wife does all my work. So, and we got David Marlowe and Lloyd White, two successful farmers. They take care of our cattle show, and Lloyd helps in the domestic arts and vegetable hall. We got Bob Boyer. He helps on the tractor pull. He's been doing that for quite a few years. Andy Allen, Jack Swanson. And I hope I didn't forget anybody.
Well, you've included quite a few of them.
Arthur Rankin. How can I forget Arthur? He's been taking care of our poultry building for years, and he has one of the best poultry shows in New York State. And I wish you would go through there today before you go home.
I thought I was going to maybe get into a rooster crowing contest, but
by golly, he'll let you do it. Today he had to, and today he has something new, a quack up. He's been leading everybody on what a quack up is, and I had to let him tell you what it was. He kept it a secret right up till today what the quack up was.
Oh, that's great. Was it last year, Calvin, we interviewed the little guy that won the rooster crowing contest, and he was trying to describe what kind of roosters there were, and man, they all wanted to take off and crow at the same time when we were in there, and that was a lot of fun. Where would we ever be without the poultry and the livestock and the vegetables? And, you know, when we call them an agricultural fair, it's nice that we can still say that. We got to say a good word for the farmers of the North Country, don't we?
If we didn't have the farmers of the North Country, we wouldn't have the Franklin County Fair. That's the bottom line, and this is an agriculture fair, and we'll never get away from it.
Yeah, a lot of the young kids love to go to the carnival, and as always, you have the best here, as you've told us every day, but we know at the back, we know what we hang your coat on for the Franklin County Fair, and it is agricultural, and that's great.
If you take a walk up through that cattle barn later on, see how they're taking care of those cattle, how well they're groomed already for the show today, it's outstanding.
That's great. Well, we both got a sunburnt. Well, I got one on my head. He's got his green hat on that says the Franklin County Fair.
Yeah, keep the hat on because my hair won't stay combed. That's why.
Howard, thanks so much for allowing us inside the gates once again in 1998. I hope our viewers appreciate what they see here, because we're going to spend the next hour or so just kind of nosing around, and maybe we'll see you again before we leave.
Okay, well, enjoy yourself, and any other questions, don't be afraid to ask.
Thank you so much, Howard. Again, congratulations for a great fair.
Thanks very much, Gordon.
And that's the way it is. We're going to take a little tour for the Franklin County Fair. Fair. Boy, oh boy, that's about as loud as you want it to get. And there goes the red flag, and that's the end of his run. Joe Perot, you just finished the end of your run. I haven't seen you since we celebrated the ice storm there.
That's right. It was a busy time in my life.
Oh, busy for everybody's life with your fire department up there and all the people that volunteered. I didn't know you were into this stuff. Tell me how you got involved here.
Oh, one of the guys that I work with, his uncle owns 3 of these vehicles now, 2 4x4 trucks and that modified tractor that just pulled. And we got into it a little bit a few years ago, and now we just bought this truck this spring and getting into it a little heavier, and I got a little more time to myself so I can get more involved.
What's the guy's name that owns them?
Clayton Jarvis from Altona owns these vehicles.
Everybody knows Clayton Jarvis. Now tell me, how was your run? Were you happy with it?
It looks like I went across the 300-foot mark. I don't know exactly. I didn't wait for the measurements, but it probably won't be a top pull, but it's a good pull.
That looked like a pretty good one that we just saw there, too.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to beat for a single-engine tractor. Some of the 2-engine modifieds may pull farther than that one, but he had a good one.
I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this have no idea what this is all about. Explain what the idea is.
The object is to pull the weight transfer sled. It's not the amount of weight that you pull, but just the distance that you pull it. The sled is set up, so it gives everybody a fairly close margin to pull against to keep everybody fair. Our rules are set up with the modified trucks. They have a cubic inch limit that we can run the engines on. There's different rules for the other different classes, trying to keep some of the costs down, you know, to make it more user-friendly, and so we get some more pullers hopefully involved.
Have you been doing this for a while, or did you just start this year, or what?
No, I've been in it till about 6 years now.
You really?
Yeah. They're just starting to drive steady this year. We drove a couple times a year in the last few years, but now I drive pretty near every pull, at least 1 or 2 classes.
Have you ever blown an engine?
I haven't myself, but in Plattsburgh we did have a gear problem with this truck.
Really?
I think we've cured it this time.
It can be a lot of tears. I know how much money and time goes into these engines, and when something breaks during a pull, that's kind of tough.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of money involved in it, but if you start out slowly, you know, we've got the class to where it's fairly close. A guy can start at a limited budget, and then over the years work up to it. Now, within 8 years on some of these engines, we got over $10,000 in them, but it's taken 8 years to build up to that point. You know.
How many cubic inches would we have in this engine on this truck? Do you know?
This truck here is a little less than 468 cubic inch. It's one of the smaller engines. The cubic inch limit on this class is 475. To keep everybody on an even keel, we hold a cubic inch limit.
The manager of the fair, Howard McNeely, told us that they're going to bring some big piece of equipment, some monster tractor in here for a demonstration that has something like 6,000 horsepower.
Right, that sounds like Thumper 2. Has 2 Allison aircraft engines. There's 2 V12 engines on it.
Oh, 2 V12 engines. Oh, my God.
He has 2 modifieds. He had them both in Plattsburgh. One of them pulls in the classes with us. The other one was just a demonstration with the 2 engines. You know, we can't really compete against them, but we pull all together. It's just for fun. Nobody really makes money at doing this. It's just to have a good time. It's a good sport to get into for a pastime.
It is a lot of fun, and I would say there are a lot of tractors and trucks here.
Yeah.
Not so many, but lots of them.
I think there's about 10 trucks, probably 7 or 8 modified tractors. The stock tractors, I'm not sure. There's a good number of those also.
It's a good time. I see a moderate crowd in the grandstand, and it's not a bad day. A nice little breeze here. It's better than 90.
That's right. For the afternoon show after 6 o'clock, you'll see the stands will fill right up. They usually have a capacity crowd here at night.
We're lucky today because it rained like the old Harry in Plattsburgh last night. It rained pretty good here, but so far no big rain today, so things are going off quite well.
No, we had a little rain shower when we first got started after they cleaned the track off, but it's not bad now. It's coming around.
No, it's amazing, as Howard told us, how they clean the track and use dust there instead of the old clay, and it creates a pretty good surface.
Right, it makes a good track here. A lot of us like to pull on the clay because it's a really good biting track. A lot of horsepower used in it.
I don't think you'll see that anymore here, though. Whoa, nice vehicle, huh?
Right, this is our other tractor that Clayton Jarvis owns, the Farmer's Nightmare. That's his nephew Todd that's driving it, also from Champlain.
That's a beast. That is a beast.
Yeah.
It even smells hot. It smells like some new paint on there.
A little bit of antifreeze overflow. She's warm.
You think that must be what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably about 240 degrees right now on the engine.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's a beautiful vehicle. There's a few hours in that thing.
Yeah, we bought it used, but we've got a lot of time in it. Made some modifications. It really runs good.
And there goes the red flag. It's pretty hard to compete with that sound, isn't it?
That's right. That's Clayton Jarvis's third vehicle, the Tasmanian Devil, that just pulled that pole there.
That looked like a pretty good run as well. Hey, come on over here. We should compare bellies here.
Should we?
How was it? How'd it feel?
Good, real good.
Think you had a good run?
Yeah, 211 feet.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have anything to judge by, but
They got a floating finish line
they do.
in the open class, and whoever pulls it the farthest wins.
Do you think you might do something with that one?
I put a good run down, so.
Well, it smells hot enough.
It's hot.
So I think it better cool down before you make another run with that baby.
Oh yeah, I will.
Is that fun driving that?
Oh yeah, a lot of fun.
Is this your first year driving this one?
Nope, I've drove this for probably 4 years.
Oh, have you?
Yep.
You know what it feels like?
Oh yeah. This is a new motor though, and it's got a lot of power.
Does it? It feels awesome underneath you?
Oh yeah.
How are these things geared anyway? I'm sure our viewers have no idea. You don't shift, do you? You stay right in...
I shift that 3 times.
Are you kidding me?
Go from low to second, and then to drive. And when you get it in drive, she really comes on.
I don't know how many RPMs, but the sound is enough to blow the top of your head off.
If you want to get a shot of the tack, I can show you what it turns.
Yeah. All right, I don't know if Calvin can see that tack back there, if he can see what it looks like, but that's kind of amazing. Will that show the maximum?
8,000 RPMs.
Oh, baby. The average engine would be in parts spread all the way from here to Katyville, but not this one.
No, all our engines are all balanced. They're built by Tricky's Racing Engines in Georgia, Vermont.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. He builds all 3 of our engines.
So this one doesn't have that many miles on it then, right?
This is a brand new motor this year.
You have to break it in before you crank 8,000 RPMs out of it?
They're all dyno tested. So they're ready to run as soon as we get them.
Like I said, it smells a little warm.
Yeah,
so
she's hot.
Yeah, but you did good.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for talking. Are you going back to Champlain tonight?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You got to sleep in your own bed, right?
Yep.
That's great. Well, have a great day.
And cook sausages with Kelvin. So.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'll be there. We're going to continue our tour of the Franklin County Fair. I don't know, Calvin's doing it to me again. He's parking me right in front of where they're making food and frying stuff, and me and Wally were just getting hungry here. How you doing, Wal?
Very good, very good.
You passed by us before when I was talking to your buddy on the other side, and I said, uh-oh, anybody by the name of Wallace Hill can't get by this camera crew because we got a place called Wallace Hill, not very far from Plattsburgh. Did you know that?
Yeah, Wallace Hill Road, yes, I know that. Yeah.
Are those people any relation to yours?
No, no relation of mine, no.
Just a quirk of fate.
Yeah, that's right. Coincidence, yeah.
Now, Wallace, I should mention, is the president of this here organization, and you've been connected with it for more than a week and a half. Well,
that's right, about 18 years.
Have you really?
Yeah, about 18 years. This is the third time I've been president. You can only hold one office 3 years, and you have to get off, and then you can be president again or whatever.
You're just going to keep doing it till you get it right, aren't you?
Yeah. May take a while. Yeah.
I heard you. Where are you originally from? Chateaugay?
Chateaugay, yeah. Yeah, I was born and brought up.
I remembered all this stuff. Somebody told me that today.
Yeah, I was born and brought up in Chateaugay. Yeah.
Ended up down here in Malone.
Yeah. Well, I worked for Reynolds Metals and retired from there in 81 on a disability pension. So since that, I've been around here.
It's a good place to be around, I think.
Yes, it is, yeah. Quite a lot of activity this week. And, of course, after the fair, we start planning the next year for the next fair,
You know, that goes without saying. It's not something you just wake up 2 weeks before fair time and say, let's have a fair, right?
Although a lot of people think that's the way it is, but it isn't.
It doesn't quite work that way.
No, it doesn't.
Howard and me, we figured out the salary would be about 9 cents an hour.
That's about it. That's about it. Or a little less.
Yeah, a little less. Yeah. It's called a labor of love, right?
That's right. That's right. You got to like it or else you wouldn't do it. Yeah.
Well, I've seen a lot of people having a good time here today, so I guess you must have done something right.
Well, hopefully we did. Yeah, this is our treasure here.
Come on over
Billy
here.
McCabe.
Come on around here.
Yeah, stay out in the background.
No, never mind.
This is Billy McCabe, our treasure.
Billy, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Gordy Little, pleased to meet you. Calvin Castine behind the camera there. So, have we lost any money yet?
Not yet.
Been a pretty good week so far.
Had a real good week. Yes, we have.
You know, I was surprised when Howard told me a while ago that you expect something like 70 or 75,000 people at the fair in a given year. Can that be true?
That's true, and we're really hoping that we get it. It's weather really help us out if it stays good.
Yeah, I heard there was a little rain last night. People didn't even care. They showed up for the demolition derby right in the mud, huh?
Quite a little rain last night. It was really rain. Well, rain been there all night,
He said some guy with a four-cylinder engine beat everybody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So how'd you get hooked up with the money bucket over there?
Well, I guess I had the most honest face of them all, so that's how I got it, I guess.
Take a look at this smile. You would trust this guy with your last lottery.
He also runs the beer tent.
Oh, well, listen, he can't be all bad. No matter what he does with the money, he can't be all bad. Running the beer tent is not bad either.
No, that's a pretty good job. I meet a lot of people, same people year after year, that you more or less get acquainted with them. You look forward to see them from one year to the next.
Yeah. Are you originally from this area?
Yes, I'm originally from here. I started picking garbage at this fairgrounds, to showing cattle at this fairgrounds, running the poultry barn, worked my way all the way up from the ground floor.
Been here a long time. We came here last year, and I graduated from the old Moira High School back in 1955, and I hadn't been back to what I call the Malone Fair, the Franklin County Fair, until last year. It was just like going back home when I walked in the gate, you know it?
Yeah, it never loses its hometown value, I guess.
It's a pretty special place. I say it over and over again because there are an awful lot of rural fairs in New York State and other states that wish they were as successful as this Franklin County Fair.
Yeah, even some localities that got a lot more population than we have don't draw as many as we do.
Well,
we always have good entertainment and good exhibits, so we're ahead of the other fairs. In that
You do.
respect.
You really do something to engender that good feeling of the people, and they plan on it all year long, and they bring their friends and their cousins, and people come from out of state and plan their vacations around it, and, it's a good event.
People that formerly lived here come back for the fair. A lot of them every year.
That's
so,
decent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's decent. And the food's good, I can tell. I haven't had any yet, but I'm
You're about to, huh?
going to get on with it. Yeah. Now, you're in charge of the horses too, right,
That's
Ron?
right, yeah, the saddle horses, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. What does that involve?
Well, we have the English Horse Show on Monday, and Wednesday we have the halter classes Wednesday evening. Thursday morning and Thursday evening we have the Western riding classes, and Friday evening. So we have quite an extensive program for saddle horses. We award somewhere around $10,000 for.
Wow, no wonder they show up.
Yeah. So, and we usually have about 100 horses, somewhere around 100 horses.
You raise them yourself? Raise any horses yourself?
I do. I got one. Yeah, a quarter horse. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
They come from miles around. This is a pretty good horse you're on here today.
Yes, it is.
I heard somebody kidding you about your new vehicle.
Yeah. This belongs to Copran, the company that Donnie Bowie works for.
Oh, I didn't think they took it out of the treasury.
No, they won't let me do that. That fellow that was sitting here that's Donnie Bowie.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for talking with us. Thanks for all your hard work for the fair.
Well, thank you very much.
We'll be checking on him later on. If I get a lottery ticket, I'm going to let him over.
And have some food before you leave.
Yeah, you know I will.
Yeah.
See you later, Wal. Okay. This is Gordy Little and Calvin Castine having fun at the 1998 Franklin County Fair. Well, Calvin almost got me past the beer booth. I don't know, maybe I'll have to stop on the way back. And we got just two average people off the street here. Hi, who are you?
Ashley Crump.
And?
I'm her sister, Erin Crump.
How are you?
Good.
Where are you guys from?
We're from Malone. I'm down here babysitting a couple little kids, but we usually come every day.
Do you? Make the fair every day? Lots of people too? What's the funnest stuff so far you've seen?
I didn't talk to myself. We went to the Sammy Kershaw.
Wait a minute, let me see your tongue. Stick your tongue out.
Whoa! We went to a concert, and the food is great, of course. Eat a lot and ride a lot.
That's great.
But I don't know, I just like seeing everybody here because like all my friends come, and it's where
wonderful.
you see everybody again after the long summer.
That's good too. Wait a minute till the run is ending there. I bet you're looking forward to going back to school too, right?
No.
No. How about you?
No, but basically school starts next Monday because we start soccer practice, so no more sleeping in.
Both soccer players?
Yep.
Yeah, is that your only sport?
Nope, I play basketball too.
Okay.
So does she.
Somebody clued us in that you were a big basketball player. What year are you in school?
I'm going to be a senior.
And?
Freshman.
Wait a minute. Something genetically wrong with this picture here.
I know,
What is it?
I'm the short one, but really I'm older. 2.5 years older.
And a lot wiser too, right? And from a standing jump, you can go 6 inches higher than she can.
I don't think so.
Maybe not?
No.
Yeah, well, we won't make you do any layups today, but we will watch for your name on the soccer field when the season starts. Practice already?
Yep, we have to get in shape to win as many games as we can.
How did the team do last year?
We got to the Section 10 championship game with Augsburg, but we lost. But we should be pretty good this year again.
That's terrific.
Hopefully. In basketball, we went to the Final Four, so we want to do that again this year too. But
Have any ideas if you might like to go to college somewhere?
well, yeah, I'm definitely going to college. I'm not really sure. I'm just looking at a few different ones, but if I could play somewhere, I'd want to, like Division III or whatever.
We'll send all the hot scouts down here to keep an eye on you guys all year long. What? I didn't ask you what your favorite ride is. The talkative one over here.
The zipper.
The zipper?
Yep.
That would never make it. I would have asked about, no, it's scary. Don't give me that stuff. I watch the people screaming, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die.
Well, if you eat before you go on it, but
I eat before I do anything, so that's a given.
you eat all. That's the way they get your money here. All the good food around.
I can make it on the Ferris wheel without screaming out loud. The zipper is not. Which one is the zipper? That's the one way over there on the side with all those stupid little baskets that roll around and go upside down and make you.
That flip over and over again.
I think the zipper is where the word Ralph was invented.
Maybe. That could be it.
Oh my God, I can't even look over there when it's going. How many times have you been on it this year?
Probably 5.
Have you really? You two?
Yeah.
Together?
I'll be on it a lot more though.
You scream in each other's ear? Do you scream just for fun or do you?
Yeah. I wouldn't have to scream. I love it, but I just like to scream because it's funner that way.
Let it all hang out, right?
And that other one, 1001, I don't know how you pronounce it. It used to be the Rainbow. That's like another fun ride. That's my other favorite ride.
Not a bad carnival here, huh?
No. I love the fair.
I love the fair too. We all love the fair. Everybody comes. Well, for two people who didn't want to talk on television, who said they were shy, good thing I don't believe everything everybody says. Good luck to both of you guys. Have fun at the fair and best of everything during the school year.
Thank you very much. Bye.
And if you thought I was going to talk with that sound going on, you are out of your mind. That's another view of one of the runs from the modified truck division. Trucks and tractors are hauling things here on the racetrack at the Franklin County Fair today. What you're looking at now is the pride and joy of the 1998 Franklin County Fair. Howard Manili and all the other folks we've spoken to today mention it with reverence because it was a long time in the planning stage and now it's beautiful. As you can see, and as Howard said it would be, it's 5 feet higher off the surface of the track. It's a beautiful facility. It says Franklin County Fair Agricultural Society on the top. It's well painted, well appointed, much larger than the other performing areas of previous Franklin County fairs. It's really a nice place. We talked to several of the people who have seen the activities so far this year, including country music shows, and they've enjoyed them, and there are more shows coming up in this fair. Every day is action-packed, and people don't just plan to come to the Franklin County Fair once. Most of them, especially the ones who live in the immediate vicinity, come back day after day after day. It's fun. We have developed a nice breeze, a few pockets of blue skies as we drove down here about an hour and a half ago, and now it's 4 o'clock, by the way, on the 11th of August. As we drove down here, it was kind of iffy for a few minutes, but we're pleased to have a nice breeze and just enough sunshine to make it worth everybody's while. You can see that the grandstands are beginning to fill up considerably. When we first started looking at the tractor pull about an hour ago, it was maybe a quarter full, and now it looks like it might be getting a little bit closer to half full. People travel from all over the North Country and other states in the Union to come and watch this event and others. It's a lot of fun. I hope another year you'll get your family together and bring them down to see the Franklin County Fair. You never know who you're going to run into at the Franklin County Fair. Some camping buddies of mine. I forgot your first name.
Karen.
Karen, how are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, she was even better till the TV camera came on. And Scott Light, how are you doing?
Not bad at all, Gordy.
I haven't seen these people for at least 2 weeks when we were camping on the beautiful St. Lawrence River at a place called Coles Creek. I didn't know you guys were going to be at the fair. What are you doing here, Scott?
Well, we've got the novelty booth right over by the corner near the gate. Hoping it stays sunny out here. The rain really puts it down on it, but we're doing all right.
You know, this is a great opportunity for two things. First of all, to thank your grandmother for saving my fireplace tongs. An inside story, but a friend of mine made me some fireplace tongs for the fireplace at the camp years ago and had the bad sense to die on me, but I remember him every time I put a new log on the fire. Such a great guy. And this year, I've never left anything at a campsite before, and this year I got home and I didn't even miss him until I got a little email. Did you write that email?
No, it was about my father, yeah.
Your dad saying, my mother-in-law found your fireplace tongs. She delivered them to my place yesterday all the way from Dannemora. That's cool. And another thing that brings these people together, it's just amazing that you should walk by here today, is because Scott's boss in this little enterprise went to the same little Moira High School I did and graduated 2 years after me. What's his name?
Bruce Francie.
Bruce Francie, and he's telling me all the good things and sometimes not so good things we did in high school, how we used to drag people out of ditches in the wintertime with that old 39 Ford Coupe. And I showed him my high school ring from Moira, 1955. That's what it looked like. And he said, oh, I had one of those. And I said to him, what did you do with it? He said, I gave it to my wife when she was 15 and she lost it in the hayfield. What's her first name?
Brenda.
Is Brenda here today too?
She's right up there at the booth.
I may have to see him before we leave here today. And I found out later that Brenda and I sat next to each other at all the all-state concerts playing trombone, probably hitting each other with our elbows when we made the slide go up and down. So are you having fun yet? You've been here every day, Scott?
No, just today, my first day here.
Is it?
Yeah, I've been sick.
No, you haven't been sick a day in your life.
It happens.
And are you having fun yet?
No.
She'll have fun when we shut the camera off. Where do you go to school? I didn't ask you.
Lisbon.
As you do too. Are you a senior coming up?
Junior this year.
Man, these guys are so big. And your brother, who's almost as big as you are, hey, what grade is he going to be in?
He's going in 7th.
Yeah, we got to say hi to Adam and everybody, you know. Have a great day, guys.
You too.
Say hello to your parents for me.
We will.
See you later, Scott, Karen.
Put this on TV.
It's too late. You got it from the Franklin County Fair. Oh, this show is stacked right from the beginning. I got all my friends to attend the Franklin County Fair. Dave Shefton, how are you?
Fine, fine.
Great. Now, who you got hiding over here? Tell everybody who they are, even though they won't come over.
Well, I'm here with Stephanie and her daughter Janelle, even though they don't want to be on television.
Yeah, well, she's saying hi from the sidelines over there. David has been a New York State Trooper in Plattsburgh area for how many years now, Dave?
17.
Can you believe that?
It's
Only 27. They let him in early.
it's getting close.
David has given me some of the best stories of my radio career when I was on the radio. Been involved in a lot of things. And did you ever dream when you first came up here 17 years ago that you'd kind of settle in, David?
No, well, I kind of like the area, and it's not a bad place to live or work, so there's no reason not to settle in.
That's true. There are a lot worse places on the face of the earth, and I say it. I said I wouldn't until I'm blue in the face, but, you know, the quality of life we have in the North Country is not too bad.
No, and with you being one of the first people I met when I got up here, you know, I knew
we were about second or third.
Well, they used to give me those radio assignments to come over there, you know, because I was the new man. Had to do go on and do the public service.
Gordy, how many of these do I have to do? I have to read another one?
I liked hanging around there.
It was a lot of fun, and we worked together very well, and we've been close friends for all those years. We don't see each other very often anymore.
No.
Where are you still working?
No. I'm unemployed at the moment, just enjoying my summer.
If somebody wants to offer you $1,000 a week.
That's right. Anybody need a legal secretary? I'm available.
Things were humming pretty good at the beer booth. We talked to our good friend who runs the beer booth, and they said how much? $53,000 they make on the beer booth down here?
Wow.
Whoa! And he did say, I said, do you have any problems? He said, none, no problems at all. He said, thanks to the New York State Police. They stand around and talk to folks and make sure everything stays legal, see?
Yep. No, none of the guys ever complain about having to work the fair here in Franklin County.
It's a lot of fun. This is the only day you make it, huh?
Yep. It's the only day I'm coming out.
I hope it doesn't rain on your parade.
No. We were discouraged at first, but beautiful.
We brought a little sunshine down the turnpike with us. Thanks for talking with us, guys.
You're
Have
welcome.
a wonderful day, Steph. Bye-bye. Of course, Calvin spotted this the minute we walked in to the Fine Arts Building. The Lucky Teeter poster that so shocked me, surprised me, and delighted me when Howard McNeely walked into his closet in the fair office and dragged that out just after I had mentioned the name Lucky Teeter as being one of the great memories from the Hell Drivers way back when. It doesn't give a year on that, and I can't remember when he said Lucky Teeter was killed in a terrible crash, but believe me, that was more than a couple years ago. And here we are, deja vu all over again, one of our favorite places. Our visit to this booth last year taught us enough about the Almanzo and Laura Ingalls Wilder Association and the homestead in Burke, New York, that we spent a day there and had a wonderful time. How are you, my friend?
Very well here, thank you.
Terrific.
We're glad to see you coming through the place again.
Anybody who's viewed our program knows that we had a great time out there. I forgot your name.
Well, my name is Tattershall, but I'm just one of the tour guide. Bud would probably be the easiest
Bud,
way.
there it is. I got the name Bud. Bud told us that he had worked down in, where, in Virginia beforehand?
Oh, yes, Williamsburg, Virginia. You bet.
What a place to get your start, Bud.
When the Queen came over, as a matter of fact.
Were you really?
Which is, what, 57, I guess, when the Queen came and made quite a splash. Couldn't move your car around. Had to walk wherever you went because there were so many people. Yeah.
I want to go back there. I haven't been back there in maybe 20 years.
Well, been some changes. They have a few different ideas on how to decorate the different buildings now than they used to. Quite spare in their approach now. Yeah, as opposed, but it's still a lot of fun, and they still have many different activities for people to see, especially with the addition of their new. Well, it's not new now, but it was new to the original foundation, the plantation, which you can go to and see the development of that site. But at any rate, around here, unfortunately, Almanzo didn't know anything about it.
No, I bet you he had no idea that was going on. That was the other part of the world.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Well, this place, you've been helping these people out for how long, Bud?
Well, of course, we were originally a committee of the Franklin County Historical Museum Society. And so we separated from that just to develop the farm. And we became the Almanzo and Laura Ingalls Wilder Association 1987. Yep, and I've been around along with your friend, Larry House.
Oh, the Houses are such delightful people.
Oh, yeah. If it weren't for them, I think that we wouldn't have the get up and go that we need to keep going. Yeah, they're full of vim and vigor.
Well, we so thoroughly enjoyed our stay, and you are a wonderful host. You were a terrific guide that day. I learned more than I ever dreamed I'd ever know. And when we were there, as I recall, you were showing us a new barn being constructed.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going?
That's true, only the barn is quite a large structure.
Look at that.
And so we do it in gulps, whatever we can afford. And we probably had either started or reconstructed the west barn. And then last year we did the south wing, and now we have one more wing to go, the north wing, which is going to be for the horse barn. That's where Almanzo had his pet colt. And he'd often, when he went to work in the barns, do the chores, then he'd go into the horse barn, pet the colt, and then go about his duties. Yeah.
This is a piece of North Country history that's well known around the world, and I dare say, Bud, that many of our viewers have never been there, and what a shame.
We think so. I don't know if they all
I
think
do
so.
too.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. We have members from various, about 5 different countries outside of Canada. Of course, we have many from Canada. And then virtually every state. But there are a few states that are missing.
Yeah,
the ones with the fires.
Yeah, you think so? Well, I want to tell people exactly where you're located, so if they're planning to come up here anytime this year, they might just get a little bit off the beaten track and go and see you there.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things of it. It is off the beaten track, and it does have a lot of woods around it, so to speak, so it feels as if it's a country farm, which it was. And our road was just repaired this last week, so we have a perfect way to get in. But it's somewhat south of Route 11 and east of Malone, I guess you'd say. Rainersville Road, if anybody knows that. Yeah. It's on the Stacy Road in Burke.
Not too hard to find. Just look for the signs.
We have a few signs to help them out. That's right. Yeah. Unfortunately, Route 11 is a heritage road, and you can't put all the signs you want up. But hopefully they can find what they need. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's nice to see every year things are getting a little bit better. When I first started to investigate that property, it was pretty much the same as it had been for a long, long time, and it was desperately in need of help. But look at how far we've come.
Well, this is the way it looked at one time, just shortly before we acquired it, because the old dairy barn was across the front, or across the back. But of course, the house had a different siding on it at that time, which had been put on in 1940. And now we have the red clapboard siding, and those barns burned, so we're reconstructing on the same site the Wilder barns.
What do we got down here, Bud?
Isn't that interesting? Trouble is, I can't remember what the date is of that building, but that's the Floral Hall that used to be out here where many of the rides are today. Wow. And I think it was maybe 60 years ago they took it down. But I don't think it was there when Almanzo was here. After all, he left in 1875, a few years ago.
Well, we're celebrating, I think they told us, the 148th year for the Franklin County Fair. That's hard to believe.
Yeah, 1851, I think, the first fair, yeah. And they had many others at one time. It was a real agricultural area. They used to have one in Chateauguay for sure, and I think maybe even one in Moira. But this is quite a common thing throughout the North Country to have fairs. But ours was the county fair. So, of course, it outlasted the others.
Yeah, I've been chided a few times by my friend Howard Manili for calling it the Malone Fair, because that's what it was called when I used to come here way back when. But it is the Franklin County Fair, and it's draws big crowds every single year.
Well, they keep telling us in the newspaper that it's larger than the year before. Yeah. Also costlier now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But then that's the way this is. We started selling these books as a set, the Wilder books, for $10 back in 1966 or so, when the Historical Society got their museum. And now they're $40. Isn't that amazing? The dollar bill isn't worth a penny.
Truly amazing.
Yeah.
So what other things are underway, and what are some of your plans out there?
Well, of course, we want to complete the barns, but then we have to start thinking in terms of making the place look like a farm, putting up the fences that would obviously have had to be established, and the big thing, planting the trees back along the roads, the old maple trees, and they seem to have had a low stone wall as well. So with these plus the fact that it'd be nice to do some work around the river, Trout River, I think those are as far ahead as we can look at the present time.
Well, you know, history is a work in progress, and so is the Wilder Farm.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. And we're always pleased when people come to visit us. If they don't, it gets awfully boring. We're pleased to have them.
You don't want to hear Bud talk to himself. Just go down to the Wilder homestead and have a visit. What hours do you keep down there, Bud?
Yeah, that's a good point. The one thing you want to remember, don't come Monday, because we're closed. But Tuesday through Saturday, we're open 11 to 4, and on Sunday, we're open 1 to 4. And we're glad to receive people at any time, and even in the off months. If a person calls up and makes an appointment, and we're free, then we're glad to have a meeting then, sure. We have a lot of people that call during the winter months, and spring especially.
Great. Say hello to the houses for me.
I certainly will.
Have yourself a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah.
See you later, bud.
Do get some good meals around here.
Oh, boy. Yeah. You don't have to tell me twice. Tell. Oh, they're good, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
And it's for a good cause.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much, bud. All right. Well, this is another one of our favorite places. What do you call this building?
This is a Federation of Fish and Game Clubs building.
Explain to some of our viewers what you've got in here.
This is stuff through the DEC and the Franklin County Federation of Fish and Game Clubs. We have fish, pamphlets for people, for outdoors enthusiasts, hunters, fishermen, course schedules for hunter safety courses, pictures, wildlife pictures through the DEC. And this is a federation. We're selling chances for the Franklin County Federation of Fish and Game Clubs to make money. We help promote hunter safety. We help promote. We line ponds. We do fish stocking and you know, different functions that the federation does.
I didn't even ask you what your name is.
My name's Steve Curran from Brushton, New York.
Are you really? Now let me see. My name is Gordy Little, and I knew some Currans in Moira. Pat Curran?
Pat Curran's cousin of mine.
No kidding. If you see him, ask him. Don't ask him what kind of a person I was back in 1955, but Pat Curran was in high school the same time I was. The old Moira High School back in the old days.
So we're originally from Brushton, the Curran clan. My Pat's father and my father were brothers.
Let me see. Did he have a sister, Rita?
Yes. Rita Hutchinson is now. Yeah.
Where does she live now?
She still lives in Brushton. And
see how small the world is?
Yes, it is. And my father was from Gerald Curran. I don't know if you know him. Gerald Curran, Eddie, Tommy. They're older than what he is. You know, Pat is. But yeah, that's all clan.
You know, you got to tie those things all together. You know, I don't get back here very often. Gordy Little, yeah. My dad was a Methodist minister there in Moira back in the 1950s.
Oh, good.
Long time ago.
Yes, yes.
The old Moira High School is just a memory now. That's a long time ago. But you say hello to Pat and Rita.
I will.
Tell them Gordy Little said hello.
I see Rita quite often.
Yeah.
Pat I don't see that often. While his wife Linda, I see her. She works at the local clinic there. She's you know, practicing RN, and I see her often. But I will tell them Gordy Little. I'll remember that. And Rita, I see her.
A lot of pleasant memories from back the old days when I think my senior class was the first banquet ever held in the Crossroads. You know, it's a long time ago. See, I showed somebody else this ring. That's what our high school ring looked like in 1955.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Yeah.
That ring.
It's got some age on it.
Yeah, when the numbers are almost worn off,
Well,
that's for
so.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're very successful here. How long have you been in this group?
Quite a few years. This federation's been together for, oh, good God, I don't know the exact time frame, but we've been together for years. And it's all the local towns in Franklin County, and we belong to a federation, we call it. And we have a voice in Albany, a voice in Raybrook, and we help protect our hunting and fishing rights. You know, we actually have a vote there to decide the future of, you know, what sportsmen want for hunting and fishing.
A lot of nice streams and ponds here in the North Country.
There's nothing I can think of that's any more important than our, you know, our freedom to hunt, fish, and enjoy the outdoors. You know.
I tell you,
I wish other people felt the same way. You know.
We were. I went on some of the back roads that I haven't been on since high school the other day when a daughter of ours and son-in-law bought a camp up on Drain Pond. I don't know if you ever heard of that, way above Owl's Head.
I've never been to it, but I've heard of it.
It's a beautiful little 15-acre pond, and man, you just take a deep breath and say, I think this is where it all started.
Yeah.
A lot of nice spots like that around here.
Oh yeah, several in the Adirondacks. The Adirondacks is fantastic for, you know, small brooks and beaver ponds and streams and just wonderful places, you know. And But we like to think we're part of that. You know, we help stock and we line ponds to bring them back to active.
You do?
Yes, we help do that. It's all for the Federation. It's all money that we put back into the wildlife system, and you know, for the good of the wildlife and for the good of man. You know, hunters and sportsmen. And we're currently having a raffle right here today, and all week, as a matter of fact, where we give 50-50. We give the winner half the money, and the other half money goes to the Federation to help us.
They won some money last year, you said.
$1,532. And every year we have this, and last year.
Gerard, huh?
Last year, the winner won $1,532. We have a free raffle for kids 12 and under. We're giving away a fishbowl every day of the fair to some child, 12 and under, and we've got 9 fish bowls, and we've given 3 of them away so far. We're going to have one every night of the fair.
I'll tell you, this Franklin County Fair is fun every year. Have you been to a lot of them?
Well, I come to this one every year, but I don't go to a lot of fairs. I state fair once in a while, and I've been to Vermont, a few fairs in Vermont, and this is as good as any of them. It's big, you know.
It's fun. You meet a lot of your old friends.
Oh yeah, that's the best thing to do. You find people here that you haven't talked to all year, and you come to the fair just to see them.
I do that.
Chance to get to talk to them.
I love it. Mr. Curran, thanks so much.
Thank you much, Gordon. I'll
Best
see you
of
later.
luck.
I'll mention it to the Currans.
See you later. Bye-bye. Well, Calvin and I just took a little tour through the carnival section here at the Franklin County Fair, and I didn't win any Cupid dolls or anything else because I didn't put any money down, but I've been down that road before. Here's a guy we've met on this program before, Dick Garcia. How are you?
Good, Gordy. How are you?
He's the only guy in the North Country who didn't see the program where he led the tour at the Troop B headquarters in Raybrook. You got to tell Rose you want to take a look at that.
I guess I'll have to. I'm sure she must have the tape someplace. But I've had some people here that are no doubt fans of yours because they've come up to me and said, I saw you on TV. I saw you on TV. So apparently they're watching your program.
Those are the people I said, if you see Garcia, tell him he looks a lot thinner in person.
Isn't that the truth?
We've been friends long enough so I can get along with saying that. You got a little booth here at the fair.
Yes, I do.
State police always have to have a presence.
We try. We try at each one of the county fairs. Last week or week before last, we were at St. Lawrence County Fair. This week here, and next week we'll be in Essex County Fair. So
seems to me, Richard, the last time I saw you at a fair, it was in a non-official capacity, and you were leaning on stuff and not walking very good. You broke your leg. What was that, last summer or the summer before?
That was last summer. Last summer I missed all the fairs because I was laid up with a broken leg. But I'm back.
Yeah, you were still hobbling when we did that tour up there, but you feel stronger now?
Oh, much stronger. Towards the end of the day, the leg gets a little sore, but it's getting along real well.
Got to find a good stool to sit on.
That's true.
So what kinds of things do you have in your little booth?
The usual stuff, some informational stuff, a few giveaways. I have a videotape for kids to watch, and mostly informational.
Just let people know that you're here. We've talked to all the fair managers and the president of the association. They all have very high praise for the presence of the New York State Police.
Well, the guys do a real super job here. They're helping out on traffic control. They're also in here patrolling the area. They do a super job. The guys here in Malone Station are fantastic.
This is quite a fair.
Yes, it is. This is a very nice fair.
It's a great family event. People come from other countries and other states, and every place that I've ever seen, we've already run into about 20 people I know.
Oh, that's true. I come across them here all the time, and it's fantastic. And people come from all over. I was talking to some people from Ottawa just a few minutes ago, and they had their children up here, and they said they've been coming here every year for the past 5 years. So it's become an annual event for many people in the area.
It's great. It's fun. Where would we ever be without the good old-fashioned county fairs, right?
That's true. Everybody loves them.
Dick Garcia, thanks so much for your friendship and talking with us again.
Well, thank you very much, Gordy. Good to see you again. I'll see you around.
We'll be there.
Okay, take care.
Well, I'll tell you, this little trio, I'm definitely the ugly one, I'll tell you that. Mr. Rabideau, Herman, right?
Right, yeah.
And Rhoda, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Where are you guys from?
Morse Forks.
Oh,
right on Route 11 down there.
He came right over when Calvin came by and said, we enjoy watching you guys on the television.
I do. I really enjoy your programs at night.
Do you guys come down here every year?
We generally hit this, Syracuse and Plattsburgh.
Syracuse, the big one.
Yeah, I like it out there.
Do you really?
Yes, very much.
Yeah. What do you like about the Franklin County Fair, Herman?
Well, I like the tractor pull.
You know, should I tell him what Calvin said? Why would anybody want to spend that much money on that big tractor and hook up to something and tow it down there and then go home?
Then have somebody tow it off from there.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, of course, I know a lot of the boys anyway that's in that, from the Ellenburg area.
We met some of them from the Champlain area today, and quite a few people.
Lloyd Silver and his two sons and the Jarvis boys, I know all of them.
Jarvis boys, we just interviewed about a half an hour ago as part of our program.
Yeah, they put on a good show.
Of course, I'm old enough, Rhoda, to remember when they used to have horse pulls at county fair.
Oh, yes.
You're not. No way.
Not a bit.
That used to be great. I remember when I was in grade school, I went to a county fair, and I wouldn't be surprised. Well, maybe it was here. Probably not, though. It was probably over in St. Lawrence County. And I watched two teams pull. One was a smaller team with a farmer who just talked to the team and clicked and talked to him real nice. And then this guy had a big, huge team, and he was a mean son of a gun, and he beat him, and he swore at him, and he hollered. Guess which team won?
The one that you talked about that.
You got it right. I'll never forget that. My mother said, let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah.
So what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm retired right now. I spent 36 years in the highway department. In fact, I remember when Calvin was built the Ridge Road in Champlain. I remember when Calvin was just a young chap going by when he was going to school.
Only about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He still thinks he's a pretty young chap right now. Yeah, that's where they live up there. There's a lot of cast irons.
He used to have a little maroon Fairlane Ford, if I'm right.
Is that true, Calvin? A what? Candy apple red?
Yeah. Well, he's colorblind.
So you work for the highway department up there?
Yeah, well, all Clinton County. I spent 18 years as foreman, and before that I run grader and bulldozer.
Now you go to the fairs.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, you know. How about family? You got a family?
Yeah, we had 5 children. We lost one, and one of them's in Alaska. One's staying next to me, and one down in near Boston Spa, and the other one next. Oh, wait a minute. Both of them, 2 of them.
Help them out, Rhoda.
Yeah.
Alaska. How about what's this Alaska deal all about?
Oh, they work for Federal Express, and they both do. So
you went up there. Like I'm gonna get whiplash handing this microphone. Tell me about last summer.
Oh, we was up there for a week. Yeah.
Where'd you go, Anchorage?
Yeah, she stays in Anchorage. Well, from there we took the train ride up to Denali Park, into Fairbanks, and from Fairbanks I took the plane up over the Arctic Circle.
Until you've been to Alaska, you really have no idea,
it's gorgeous. Gorgeous country.
Isn't that funny? Because my grandson is Frank Wright, who got his geology degree from Potsdam State, and he's based there in Anchorage as well.
Oh,
and they work way up in the Arctic Circle, and I've seen some of the pictures. Unbelievable country.
Fabulous. And we were lucky. You don't see the sunshine on Mount McKinley too often.
Oh,
and it just happened. We were coming back on the train from Fairbanks, and the sun was shining on Mount McKinley. Oh, the most beautiful
That's
sight.
just like going to church, isn't it?
Better.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, it was gorgeous.
I suppose you took about 17 rolls of film.
But they didn't come out. See, the ones on that one. It was just too far.
We're too busy watching it to take pictures anyway. Well, you guys are terrific. The salt of the earth. The best people in the world live in Moore's Forks. I always said that.
Yeah, when my feet hit the ground in Alaska, that was the 50th state I've been in.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh, no, you can't tell this guy anything. He's been there. Well, I'll tell you something maybe you don't know. Since I've been talking about people I went to high school with, not too many miles from here in Moira High School, there was a family of Rabideaus that lived in Moira way back when in the 1950s. Are you related to any of them?
I don't think so. Most of my relation is in the Moores area. Moores, Ellenburg.
Quite a few Rabideaus in the North Country.
Yeah.
A lot of different clans, huh?
Yeah.
I suppose back a few generations maybe.
Quite a few. Well, yeah, quite a few.
Well, you guys are great. Thanks so much for stopping by and saying hello, and enjoy the Franklin County Fair.
We will, and we'll enjoy your program from now on.
Because you'll be on it. See you later. Bye-bye. For those people who aren't entirely familiar with livestock, let me assure you that we're not in the poultry building. Mr. Bosley, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing just great. This has been a fun weekend here.
Has it really been a good
one? It's been super. The people have been great, and it's been a fun day. Today was show day for the open show of the colored breeds, and they've had the Jersey, the Brown Swiss, the Milking Shorthorns, the Ashires, and I forget what else was here that they were showing. Oh, the Red and White Holsteins. So it was just a real good, fun day, and some good judges. In fact, they had to have two judges, two shows going on at the same time with the cattle.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That many,
There
huh?
were that many. If you look down this barn, there's a long ways to the other end of it.
That's what Calvin said when we walked in. This thing is never ending.
Never ending
This
barn.
is one of the biggest barns. When they put a new roof on this last year, didn't they, or the year before?
I really don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't keep track of
unbelievable.
them. Don't keep track of them.
I don't know if I'd want to contract it for that job or not. My wrist would be tired. What'd you bring with you this year?
Well, we brought a few jerseys up here because this is a colored breed end of the week, and so we brought them. And from Wednesday on is the black and whites, the Holsteins. So their week goes with cattle all week. See, the barn's not big enough to bring all the cattle at once.
That's true.
So they break it up.
Good point.
And even with this long barn, it's still not big enough. Still not big enough.
Well, you're very happy. How'd you do today?
I think we did fine. We didn't take all the championships or anything, but the boys, it's their project, and we support them with it, and they did great. They did great.
Larry, you've been to more than one fair in your lifetime.
Yes, I've been showing since 1958, so I've seen a few, and we try to support at least 3 counties here, Clinton, Essex, and Franklin, and so we exhibit at each of those. And it's fun.
We have to make sure that we talk to farmers and we talk about farmers, because when you talk about the salt of the earth, this is what you call the bottom line, and too many of our North Country farmers aren't very far off that bottom line right now.
Exactly right, but it's the largest industry in the state of New York, and this concerns you. What is going to happen? Can they survive with such low prices, putting in such long hours and such low wages? It's not the lack of knowledge, lack of ability, it's the lack of money being paid for their products, is what the bottom line really says.
How many, we know farmers who have master's degrees. We graduate from major universities, get back and try to make a living and fail. It's not easy business. I don't know what the future holds. Every year I hope it's going to get better, but I don't see always a lot of light every year when I come back here.
The light is not at the end of the tunnel yet, and it is frightening. I'm not sure how they're going to survive it. I'm really not sure. I decided to cut back. I sold most of the dairy last fall, and we're just keeping like 15, 20 head right now. That's all and doing other jobs.
You know, I don't know what the secret number is. We've talked to hundreds and hundreds of farmers before, during, and after the ice storm, which didn't help, by the way.
No, we have a few pictures of it here, of the ice storm.
Oh, do you? Oh, yeah, my gosh. I thought those were antique photographs, but that's the real thing.
It's the damage of what really happened, and you look on the rails between the gates, the ice was touching from one rail to the next.
You know, you look at those pictures now that we've had a few months in between, and they're beautiful in a horrible kind of way, aren't they?
Exactly. I went around the county surveying the damage this spring, and there were some farms it was pathetic to see. I think the hardest hit was probably from Moore's Forks to Perez Mills. There was an area through there. Then there were isolated pockets throughout the county. I'd say within a half a mile of each other. Some areas were hardly hit, and other areas total disaster.
It's amazing. And you go north of the border, we talked to a lot of farmers from up in the Hemingford area and others along the way that were just, I mean, we went up to Park Safari
so you know
about
how
a month
much
ago, and
damage
we
there
saw a tremendous amount of damage north of the border. Then I took a trip up along the St. Lawrence River to camp for a little bit. all the way up Route 11, all the way along the river.
All down, all damaged, and are these trees going to make it? I'm concerned about the maple producers.
Me too.
I saw a lot of damaged trees that are not going to come back. They may produce leaves this year, but next year, I question that.
I think that's what has given people false hope. A lot of leaves came out on branches that were down in the ground, and other trees that were lopped off at the top, as we saw tens of thousands of them.
Crowns were gone.
Next year, baby.
But why are they producing seed this year? It's not the year for them to produce seed. These maple trees are loaded with seed. Are they saying, we're not going to survive, let's try to produce some seed to keep our species going? I'm not sure what the answer is.
I don't know. I've seen an awful lot of leaves turn early, though.
Yes, they are. They're turning brown. And
yeah, but back to what I said about the magic number for dairy farms. I don't know what it is. It seemed to get higher and higher and higher, and I haven't talked to many people who've got 35, 40, 50 head of cattle that are surviving.
No, they can't. They can't pay the bills, buy the groceries. No, they're doing something else if they have that number. The wife is working out, making a good salary or something along that line. It's not the farm doing it, no. And that's quite unfair,
It's a tragedy, as we know. That Clinton, Essex, and Franklin County, St. Lawrence County, one of the biggest dairy farming areas in the state. I look around there and see a lot of the old family farms where the silo's kind of hanging down to one side and there's no light in the window anymore.
There's none.
That breaks my heart.
And I can understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if these 1,000-cow dairies are the answer either.
I'm not.
They're having their problems.
I guess somebody was telling me the other day, although I'm a little bit out of touch, that sometimes 4 or 5 families go in together on some of these larger farms and try to make it that way.
Yes, that's what we're seeing. We've seen a couple. We know of a couple here in Franklin County. We know of one in Clinton County. Only time is going to tell us how successful they're going to be. It looks good right now, but let's hope it can continue. I'd like to see them make it. You know, the dairy industry needs to survive. I don't think we should be counting on foreign countries for all our food, and it looks like that's where we're headed at this point. You know, South America is looking good right now, but are they going to have the quality of food that this country is producing for we Americans? I'm questioning that.
It sounds like you also study very carefully. Are you involved in the politics of it at all?
No, I try to avoid politics totally. No, I would never make a politician. Never make a politician.
All you do is say a little prayer every day that you can survive along with the other folks.
I think that's probably the answer.
Let's hope we're all around to do it again next year, right?
Let's hope so. We're trying.
Thanks very much, Mr. Bosley.
You're
Have
welcome.
a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, we had a view of the cows, and we had a whiff of the poultry. Now we're going to have just a little smidgen of horses. We got to give the horses equal time. I don't know much about horses, but I love horses. And each year when they have the Morgan Horse Show at the Clinton County Fair, we go up to watch them and announce a little bit and have a little fun. And there still are some beautiful horses around the North Country, show horses, and even draft horses. A lot of people raise them just because it's nice to raise horses. Of course, I'm old enough to remember, as I said before, the old horse pulls at the fairs, and remember when horses were working right side by side with early tractors on farms in the North Country, and I have spent a little time with a dump rake and a horse, making those old windrows and using a pitchfork to throw the loose hay on. We've talked about that so many times. It wasn't too many miles from here where old Dave Hiltz in Moira gave this fat kid in high school a chance at making a couple of bucks and learning what life was all about down on the farm. And I'll tell you something, those were some of the best lessons I've learned in my entire lifetime. Living in the city and the country, I'll pick the country every single time. You know, you never know quite who you're going to meet when you go to the fair, but you almost know when you go to the Franklin County Fair or any of the other fairs in the North Country, you're going to meet somebody you know, and if you don't, you're going to meet somebody you'd like to know. It's a great place to see your old friends and make a lot of new friends. And we know that this fair is going to be a success because it just never fails. It's amazing, some of the reasons we've been able to enumerate for you on our program today, and some you're just going to have to try another year and come down here and find out for yourself. I want to thank Howard Maneely, who was the fair manager. I want to thank Wallace Hill. I'll never forget that name as long as I live. All the other people who have been kind enough to invite us here year after year for our little corner. I hope you've enjoyed your stay with us, and I hope you come back and bring your family another time. And you know what? It's pretty hard to tell where we're going to be next time for our program called Our Little Corner.
Welcome to North Country Commerce, a business and community service of the Plattsburgh North Country Chamber of Commerce.
North Country Commerce is proudly sponsored by Partners Health Plans. Partners is one of the fine health coverage choices offered by your Chamber of Commerce.
Champlain Valley Physicians Hospital Medical Center in Plattsburgh. CVPH. It's about life. It's about you. Our little corner and its cameras are out on the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base. Behind us you can see the old base oval, as we call it affectionately, part of Americana, part of the North Country history for generations. And next to me, Dan Weinecke, the interim president of Park. How are you, Dan?
Good, Gordy. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You and I have spent some time in sports venues.
Well, we sure have. We've been in the breathing that chlorine and watching those volleyball games.
How are your kids doing?
Everybody's doing fine. They just love the North Country. Sarah is getting ready for college.
Where's she going, by the way?
She's going down to Stetson University down in Florida to play Division I golf.
Isn't
so
that terrific?
We're pretty excited, and the rest of us are going to stay up here in the cold and where we love it.
Yeah, I got one going over to UMass at Amherst, so we'll be making a few trips back and forth and up and down. And
well, we've already scheduled one for October for a family golf outing down at Stetson, so we're looking forward to that.
What a plan. What a plan.